Hey guys, how's it going? Back with a deck profile for my Amazon Harpie deck. I posted my intro video about 3 or 4 days ago and it got received pretty well. So thank you for everyone who commented, liked, subscribed, gave your opinions, or any kind words. I appreciate every single one of those things. I got a few requests to post my deck that I was talking about in that video, and it's something that I wanted to do anyway, so I'm happy to do it. So yeah, I guess without further ado, we can get into it. It is Amazon Harpie. I think Tribal Synergy is just an insane skill. I don't see how Destiny Draw, Millennium Eye, or anything really compares to it. So yep, I guess with that out of the way, we can start with this. I play 20 cards. I think it's very important to play 20 cards because you need to see certain cards in certain matchups. Especially Village, but I'll get to that. So 3 Swordswomen, completely staple, nothing to say about that. And then I play 3 Sage, also staple. I've never seen someone play less than this, but I do think people underrate how good this card is in the mirror. It pretty much is the mirror match. You playing it correctly, playing around it correctly. It's super scary anytime my opponent has this card, so yeah, this card is amazing in the mirror match. And then something different, I only play 1 Chain Master. At the beginning, everyone was playing 3 of this. I see some people cutting down to 2 now. I am playing the Harpie cards, so I don't have a shortage of monsters by only playing 1 of this. I don't really, it's not very good. I know a lot of people have the same opinion. People say it's good in the mirror match, and it is pretty good when you're crashing monsters with villages in the battle phase. But outside of that, it's not even a good turn 1 play because you can summon it and they're just gonna summon a monster, heirloom, and swing into it, and it won't get its effect since it's only bad battle. So I'm not a big fan of this card, but I was having trouble outgrinding my opponents that were playing 2 to 3 of this card with only Swordswomen. So I think it's important as another 1500 just name. So 1 Chain Master. I play 1 Spy. I was excited when this card came out. I put it in my deck and I didn't like it, so I took it out again. And as soon as I took it out, there were so many situations it was coming up in where I needed it. It's kind of annoying. A lot of situations against Blue Eyes where I had Village and an Amazon and they would just run through my guys. Like if I didn't have Swordswoman to get another Swordswoman, I would have like Chainmaster or Sage and they would just swing. I'd get another monster, they would swing, and I would be starting my turn with no Amazon. And in those situations, I could have got a Spy instead. Has 1200 defense, so they have to swing over it with the other big dragon, so you only take 1200. And that means you're gonna start with like you start your next turn with like a Sage or a Chainmaster in hand, but at least that gives you options, you know. You can use your, you can swing over Lord of D, so you can make your Chronao Chains live. You could top deck into something to make those cards good. So I think this is important. There is a nutty play with it where you open, you can open this and a Harpie and activate Tribal Synergy to draw 1 card, and then if you have another Amazon, you can reveal the Amazon to special summon this, summon the Harpie, and draw 2. So you're using both effects of Synergy on turn 1. I mean, I don't count on that. It's just kind of nice when it happens, I guess. So that's it for the Amazons, and then I play 2 Harpie Lady number 1. I see some people playing Harpie Lady number 3 when they use this skill, and I think it's just too important that this is 1600 attack. It swings over Sage in the mirror match, or it even ties with it with Village, which is super important. So this gains a lot of value just from that, since Sage is so important in the mirror match. If there are no villages up, it swings over all the Amazons except for Swordswoman in defense mode. And what I found in the mirror match a lot is that most battle phases are spent swinging at defense position monsters because you put them there with Windstorms or Kunais, or your opponent's playing around your Windstorm, so they're putting their own monsters in defense mode. So this is totally fine. Like there are a lot of times they have a defense position Chainmaster, which is only 1300 defense, so this can swing into it. So I really like Harpie Lady number 1. It's a good card. People say it's like running a blank in your deck just to use Tribal Synergy, but I really don't see it, especially post side, but I'll explain that. So those are the monsters. It's 10 monsters. So then for the spells, I play the obligatory 3 Amazon Village. I want to play 2 of this card, but I don't think you can. It's way too important in the mirror match and against dragons. In the mirror match, obvious reasons, but against dragons, it's worded in a way where even if you have this on the field and you summon a Amazon and they vigilance it, you can still search another Amazon with Village. So it's super important. It's a prime target for them to vigilance because of that fact. And in those scenarios, you want to, and you just always want it anyway. So 3 Village. And then I play 2 half shots. This is a really great card. It's a good equalizer in the mirror, I think. I think it takes a lot of skill to use this card efficiently and to not waste it. It's obviously good against Blue Eyes for obvious reasons, with Swordswoman and everything. But yeah, I do think it's really good in the mirror match. Whoever can use this the best in the mirror match will probably win. So there's that. Excuse me, guys. And take another sip of water. And that's actually it for the spells. So I will explain not playing Heirloom after I go through the traps, which is going to be very simple. 3 Windstorms, staple in this format. And then 3 Kunai Chain. I see some people playing 2 of this card. I see some people playing 0 of it. I've decided to build my deck to have a good Amazon matchup game 1 because I feel like it's easier to manage Blue Eyes post side, and it's not. It's easier to manage Blue Eyes post side than it is Amazons because there are games where they're just gonna have Village and you're not. They're gonna be able to twist your Village and then you just can't play. So I want my deck to be good against Amazon all 3 games. And this card is just absolutely insane. A lot of the games come down to who runs out of traps first, and with 3 kunais and then with drawing with Tribal Synergy, you're pretty much always on the winning side of that battle. Even against dragons, it's okay if you survive your turn. If you survive their first turn onslaught, you can swing over Lord of D and then you can kunai their guys after that. A lot of people are playing Red Eyes, which is actually kind of a problem for this deck. They're playing it just to add consistency, but it's a problem because Swordswoman doesn't do a lot of damage through it. If you have a Village up, it only deals 300 attacking into a defense position Red Eyes and then 700 attacking into an attack position 1. So you want to get rid of that card as efficiently as possible. So when they have a Red Eyes and you have a, let's say, a Swordswoman with a Village up, so it's 17, it's a very good use of Kunai Chain to just chain the Red Eyes to defense and just swing over and get rid of it, and just hope that they're playing off of Blue Eyes after that. So 3 Kunai Chains, very important card, I think. So that's the deck right there. I'll lay it out all at once. So to talk about Heirloom a little bit, I thought this card was going to be the reason this deck was the best, because it has pretty much the only removal in the entire game, which seems kind of nuts. And being able to survive twice in the battle phase in a game like this seemed crazy too. But every time I used it, it just underperformed for me, or it was even a liability. Going first, it's not good to summon an Amazon and equip Heirloom to it because it's going to lose out to an opposing Heirloom. So that's bad. Like I said earlier, a lot of the battle phases are spent switching monsters to defense through kunais and windstorms. So when your monster's in defense, Heirloom it's like kind of protecting it, but not really. And if you ever lose your monster before this killed something, then you're just going to lose it for nothing, and you're going to lose this game because of it. And because of that, it's only good in conjunction with other traps, which is the paradox in itself, because if you're drawing an Amazon and Heirlooms, this Heirloom is 1 less card that can be a trap card. So unless you're drawing like super nutty, where you open like Harpie Amazon, you're able to draw 1 card with Tribal Synergy, and then you have like a bunch of traps with Heirloom, and then next turn you draw 2 more cards with Tribal Synergy. It's just not worth it. And in those situations, you're resolving 3 Pot of Greeds, so I think you already win the game most of the time. So there's really no place for this. I could see using 1 over the 3rd kunai with chain because there are uses in the mirror, and when you're playing 1, you're never going to draw 2. It's a good chance you're going to draw it with other trap cards. So I don't think it would be bad to play 1 heirloom, but like I said, I've kind of already committed to beating the mirror game 1, so I'm going to stick with the 3 kunais. But I wouldn't fault anyone for using 1, maybe even 2 copies, but I think I would just stick with 1 if anything. So that's about it with heirloom. It really shines in the Blue Eyes matchup, but there are even times where it's not good. If you don't have Swordswoman, it's not really doing too much. So onto the side deck. I play 3 Magic Jammers and 2 Wild Tornadoes. So kind of self-explanatory. I'll go the Magic Jammers first. I think this is what makes Blue Eyes so manageable post-board. They can't reliably really go first because usually they can't combo off of 4 cards, and if they can, it's not going to be very good. It's going to be like 1 dragon or something, and they can't even just like set a Vigilance and pass and just take damage and draw a card because Sage can pop it. So they're always going to make you go first, and then you just Magic Jammer the Flute, and you should be golden. It also has double uses where if you Magic Jammer a Flute and later on they're able to play, they draw another Flute or whatever, and then you draw a Magic Jammer while you're kind of grinding with them. It's nice because you can negate Twisters, which they set against you, to deal with Heirloom and Village. So it's kind of multi-purpose, and I think it's just the best card against Blue Eyes. And this is, personally, I can't run Blue Eyes because I don't want to play against this card. I feel like I can't control my games. If they see Magic Jammer, there's nothing really I can do. They're just going to negate my play. It's kind of like Curseal against Spellbooks. It's just that impactful. So there's 3 Magic Jammers. And then 2 Wild Tornadoes. These were actually Light Force Swords before. I just wanted 5 cards against Blue Eyes just to totally blow them out. Since my main was so geared toward Amazon. But now that I'm seeing more people playing Kunai with Chain, and then also citing Twister for the mirror match, I kind of need a little more post-board when they add in more cards. So Wild Tornado is really good. It doesn't hit field spells, which is something that I found on Dueling Book a lot. People are trying to hit Village with this. It doesn't work. The wording on it says, target 1 face-up card in the spell or trap zone, and that doesn't include Village. So it doesn't do that, but what it does do, like I said earlier, when you're forced to go first in the mirror match, you have no good turn 1 plays because of Sage. So this is a card where you can just set it, and they're going to be like, oh, that's like a Kunai, a Windstorm, a half shot, I'm going to force it. And they summon Sage, attack, pop it, and it pops their Sage. And then you get rid of it, you get the tempo back because you're the first one summoning a monster of the field. They have nothing, and it's nice. I don't think it's needed. I feel like you can probably win the mirror with this main deck alone, but I just wanted the extra insurance in Wild Tornado. It does also, I guess, double as a nice card against Harpies because if I ever run across that deck and they draw well, I'm pretty sure I just lose because they just pop all the cards. But maybe not. I haven't tested very much against it since it's not really a meta deck. It is decent against Relinquished too, I guess. So I guess you could put in all these cards against Relinquished if you think that deck's a problem. But yeah. Oh yeah, and I was going to talk about how Tribal Synergy is crazy post-board because you have the Harpies. And how people say they're blanks, and even though I don't agree with that, post-board, they're really not blanks because when you reveal one, you can draw an extra card, and then you can just discard it for Magic Jammer, or discard the other card for Magic Jammer, then summon this next turn, draw 2, and then it just fuels your Magic Jammers. In the mirror match, it's going to fuel you by getting you more traps once you put in the Wild Tornadoes and have more traps. So I think if Pot of Greed's game 1 weren't enough, I really think that this engine shines post-board. So that's it. If you guys have any questions or anything, make sure to comment down below, and I'll get back to every single one of you. I hope you guys enjoyed. I promise I'm not cutting Heirloom just to be like woke or contrarian or anything. I just really don't like it, and I'm curious to see how people are gonna take that and their thoughts on that. So that's it. Until next time, see ya.